we welcome you. Today, we had some friends. We walked a couple miles, right, just under 3 miles.
Yeah.
And we actually got kind of held up in there for a little bit. Helicopters, paramedics, fire trucks, a highway patrol helicopter. If I had got it ready, I could have shown you at least the helicopter coming down. But some guys were riding bikes, mountain bikes.
Yeah.
And one of the guys fell off the bike or with the bike and
Crashed
rolled down, crashed, and face was all cut up, ankle was broken. Man, it was kind of a doozy.
It was.
I filmed the whole thing. I didn't get it to the news people in time, make a little money. But I'm the only one got the best shot. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yes,
so,
yeah, you were, he was all the reporter, guys. He was all up in the mix.
Yeah.
Asking questions.
Yeah.
Getting the best shot. I think you could have been the news reporter.
I could have got up on the guy.
As your second job.
Yeah. That was my one of my majors in college. I tried to go into communications. I actually have a small degree in that because that's what I was trying to do. But I tried to get all up into people's business. Including the guy that was cut up, but I guess he wasn't in the mood
to be interviewed.
And he certainly, had to have his face fixed up. Y'all know how
that's understandable.
Got to get it together. So we love you guys, man. Thank you here today. So we want to talk to you about spring cleaning, spring training. Oh man, this is a good season as spring is just a few days away. I'm not sure the official date, the 19th to 20 to 21st. It usually hangs around there. Some of y'all can look it up and put it in the chat. The first official day of spring. Usually like my daughter's birthday, Jennifer. Her birthday is March 15.
Okay.
I love it because I say, your birthday announces springtime. It's just a few days after, like 4 or 5 days after that, she brings in the spring. So y'all don't tell her yet. I invite her on here just to let her know that when her birthday comes, it's a good season. So we want to talk to you about just some little things you could do to help with your spring, and we may have a testimony. We're trying to get that lined up. They're not even on. Maybe they're joining us to see themselves on that. When do we want to play this? Later now? Good.
I don't know. We didn't discuss that.
I know we didn't even get to that, but so I didn't know till you wait till to get on to maybe go through some of what we got, or you want to share with the people. I'm not sure your hair was like this though last time.
It was.
It was.
It was.
You're on. Okay.
It was. It was. But while we get ready to share, update. So I was sharing about my issues with alopecia and how that's an autoimmune disorder, and so basically my body attacking the what's it called, the follicles of my hair cells, causing my hair to fall out. And I had shared with you guys that I was deciding to make some changes in terms of cleansing and things, and that was back in December that I was diagnosed. And then at the start of January, you did a fast, I did a fast, and one of the main things that I decided I was going to focus on, as we've shared with you guys in past health talk, was Sebi's nutritional guide and his theory about alkaline living. And so some of, basically following his foods and stuff like that. So, came after did juicing, smoothies, eating mostly raw, and now have transitioned into some cooked foods. But I have to say, guys, the bald spots are almost completely gone. Hair growing back.
Your bald spots are almost.
Oh yeah, mine. But and then and I'll have to share on another occasion some of the oils as well that I was using. Now I do want to say real quickly that the oils that I was using, people, I read a lot of stuff that talked about, this oil is good for hair growth and even vitamins and things like that of that nature. But what I found out is that if you're not cleansed or whatever issue is causing your autoimmune disorder, you can use all the oils that you want. You can use all the stuff, and it wasn't reacting. But once I was able to cleanse, and I even shared last time about my gallbladder, how I was even able to cleanse that out. And my hair is growing back like nobody's business, because you cut my hair a month ago. So it was those of you that joined a month ago, my hair was much shorter than what it is now. So that's my little testimony.
That's a great testimony. It's great, especially with your barber. That's really
my barber right here.
Nice.
Which
I'm trying to say.
I'm due for another trim.
We work on that. I pray number 2 goes well.
I'm due for another trim. So
yeah, so it's really great, and I'll talk about my testimony a little bit in regards to fasting and why I've chosen the particular. I don't know. I don't even know if I call it a smoothie, but because of people see and get concerned about what goes on in a fast. But I'll explain why and what happened, what exciting things going on at I started to say 16th Street at Wings of Love. Sorry about that. Many of you know we're celebrating because we got another 5-year contract with our church. I know that sounds strange for those of you who belong to churches already in the system, but we believe in accountability, pastoral leadership accountability, membership accountability. So we work together with an agreement that if you like the first couple of years, we're going places, then they another 5. So we're excited. We're at least we're here unless somebody buys us out with a great deal somewhere at the Taj Mahal in Africa. I know that's not where it's at, but I'm just trying to say, we're loving it. You give me a little raise, so we're loving it. We're trying to keep up with the economy here in the Bay Area. Ooh.
Yes.
So we're glad, and we get a chance to keep teaching this as we go on a couple of walks up the hills in this area. Right. I ran the other day for the first time in a few years. I'm talking about the preparation, like the marathon run. So I did two miles in about 36. Well, what's 13 minutes times 2? 26 minutes. I did 2 miles in 26 minutes. Now I'm sore because I haven't done this a while. So that's why you'll see me go to the drink that I'm going to make today towards the end. And it'll also help you out because you don't have to eat strange to eat good. No. You don't even have to eat bad to eat good. We talked with some transition. So we have, part of a guest. But if you have any questions on transitioning, I eat too much this, I eat too much that. Can you all tell me how to transition? And in springtime, when we talk about cleansing, I see Berta on the line. I always encourage that you consider a colonic, a fresh, easy washing of your colon walls where water gently goes in. You have someone massaging your colon area, and it helps to get all of the hibernating winter season. It begins to wash. You don't get it all out in one time. It begins to wash some of that away and allows for you to make room. That's right. For nutrients to go through the walls of the colon and actually feed you. Sometimes you're hungry again because the nutrient couldn't get through. I hate to say this sounds strange, but sometimes the parasites, the invaders, the intruders, the rip-off artists, the parasites actually take your nutrient and leave you fatigued, that's right, worn out, sleepy, groggy after you kind of have a great, huge meal. So, for those of you in the Riverside area, Berta helps out in one of the offices down there. I'm starting to forget my streets, Berta. I haven't been down there in a while. Market Street, am I saying that right? Magnolia, Market Street, and 12th Street. No, it's Brockton and 12th now. But anyway, you can
put it in the chat. Yeah, put it in the chat for those that are in that area.
For those of you in the area, Cece's a real good colon therapist, and she'll treat you right if COVID is lifting over that area too.
And you can
Just
go
kinda
ahead
let us
and unmute yourself if you had something to say.
Yeah, Berta, you can unmute. Yes.
We started like 2 weeks ago. We started with ozone therapy now, so that's using that to cleanse.
Okay, so explain ozone, right?
Beside the colon therapy and the sauna.
So do you breathe that in? How does that work?
Huh?
How does it work? You breathe the ozone
You
in?
breathe, yes. You breathe.
Yeah.
You get your own syringe, and then you get it out of the tube, and then you breathe it. You push it in, but you don't breathe it up. You hold it for 10 seconds, and then you blow it out like through your nose. And then they go ozone the water before you get a colon therapy session.
Okay.
So you could choose that or coffee, coffee enema.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Oh man, excellent. Wow, that's
So,
good.
yeah.
Good. I'm excited about that myself.
What's that?
Is it on Brockton, 12th Street on Brockton?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
12th Street in Brockton, in Riverside.
If you don't mind, if you get a chance, put that address of the name in the chat. Yeah, so that way people in the area can know where to go visit.
And
do that right now.
the therapist that trained me in the colonics to work on people now, she had to give me some ideas of where to come up here, because you just don't trust any. I got used to Juana and I got used to Cece, but Juana had to give me some areas up here that were very, very good that you could trust to help cleanse that out.
Right.
So,
and we have not have not visited a colon hydrotherapy area here in the Bay Area. But if there are any of you that are in the Bay Area, I see a few of you that maybe have had experience or have gone to a hydro and colon therapist, then go ahead and drop that information in the chat as well. That would be great. So before we transition, one of the things that we love to do is just kind of like, I don't want to call it roll call, but in the chat, you can share, who you are or where you're watching from, and what is your interest in health. Either all of those or one of those things that you want to choose, because it's always interesting to know who's watching and what is drawn. Not everyone wants to spend a Sunday watching something about health. So sometimes, besides the interest in health, sometimes there are certain things that might draw people to watch. Sometimes it might be like, you're trying to learn to, you have some extra weight that you're trying to lose. Or for some people, it might be a medical diagnosis like high blood pressure or diabetes, and you're trying to deal with that, or some autoimmune disorder that you're trying to deal with. Anyway, it could be a number of things. So if you don't mind sharing that on the chat, that would be great too.
Yes. So today we happen to, now our new fun place to shop is called Berkeley Bowl.
Yes.
Those of you in Northern California may understand, the Bay Area may know Berkeley Bowl. So we love going to two places kind of in Berkeley, right?
Mm-hmm.
Two of them are there. Yeah, that is, you might have guessed that might have been you, Sam. She kept going, Sam's on. So I like Sam, but yeah, so my brother Sam, and then I didn't know if I had another Sam about it. Because by the welcome Sam. So look, and South Carolina is a good place too if you want to check for colon therapist, hydrotherapy. Those are names you can put in. But I use them, and a lot of times they try to get in just ahead of the tumors that come or whatever, and that washes your colon, allows, as your mother was saying, the immune system to kind of rejuvenate itself and get those nutrients and vitamins back in so you can, it's assimilation.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes if we eat good nutrients, it doesn't get through the wall of the colon.
Right.
And so sometimes the spring cleaning is, if you want to, do some natural juicing, getting pure juice, go to juicing place. We like, even when we can't get to the other, we go to Jamba Juice and ask, just give us some orange juice. Squeeze those oranges and we'll drink that, allow that to go in and flush some of that out. So those are just some good things you can begin to do.
That's
Because
right.
we help you transition here. Sometimes finding good places doesn't always have to be a smoothie. It depends on what your goal is. Look, Pascal, I'm a little stopped up. You know, I had a good winter. You know, I had burgers and fries every other day. I had, you know, that can happen. So what you want to do is now
Yes,
begin
it
to
can.
loosen that up, and you're going to get your citrus juices like that. So fresh orange juice is a winner. If you wake up in the morning, drink hot water and squeeze a little what?
Lemon.
Yeah, lemon, lime, as
Or
a
you
Sadie would say for us.
Right.
But, mhm,
Exactly. Or you can even do apple cider vinegar,
apple cider
like a
vinegar.
teaspoon of it.
Yeah, so that helps to break up some things, and you'll be able to begin to get relief. So we want you to have a great spring. This is what we're here for. We want you to have an awesome spring
That's right.
for that. All right, so we ready for this couple? I want
Yes.
y'all to hear this couple. This is the day we went walking.
Mhm.
This couple agreed to kind of tell their testimony. They did something very special in the month of February. You know, that's Power to the People month. That's Black
Black
History.
History Month.
We got a lot of love in that, but they chose to do something that was unique and different. So we're gonna listen to them, and they're on the line, so they get a chance to respond if you have any questions for them. So take some notes, listen to what they have to say. Here we go. All right, we're glad to have Eric and Juliet Smith here to tell us about their experience. They did something unique, y'all. They were like February. They did something real special. So I'm just gonna let them tell us the story. So what'd y'all do?
Okay, well, what we did is a 30-day. For me, it was 30 days. Well, not 30, but the month of February of not eating anything cooked, complete raw diet. And the story behind it was with 3 years ago, I had both my knees replaced.
Wow.
And so, you know, the time leading up to that surgery, I wanted to drop some weight. So, you know, less tension on my knees. So I had this idea, why not just go ahead and just do a raw diet? And so I believe it was 2018, I went and all I ate was salads, fruits, vegetables, all of that, nuts. But everything was not cooked. And so after the surgery, as an anniversary, memorial, something, a tradition, I decided every February I would do a raw diet.
Now, what made you choose raw? Of all the diets out there, what made you choose that one?
Man, that's a good question. I think I was reading about it, you know, and I figured that would be the best way to lose weight, to kind of cleanse myself. And so that's where I came with the idea.
Now, how do you feel after this? Every month, every year
month?
that you do this, I mean.
I feel 20 pounds light. Now, it may not always be reflected in the scale,
I hear you.
but that's how I feel. My body feels cleansed. It feels regenerated. You don't feel like I've, kind of purged all of that waste or any toxins from the processed
there you go.
foods.
Wow.
Or, the cooked foods that I've been, kind of feels like my body kind of filters that out. So I feel pretty good.
You're well rested too. Can you talk about that? He has a problem with
Yes.
sleeping sometimes.
Yes.
So he said he was
That's a
saying
big
that,
one.
yeah, he was well rested.
Yes,
He had a
you
lot
do.
of energy.
Yeah, you do get that.
Stuff like that.
Wow.
When he went through the process.
Mental clarity.
Yeah, a lot of more mental clarity.
So, Juliet, you chose this year to join him in doing a different kind of change for yourself. As Yomi, I always see your transition too. You don't think you're doing it, but we see changes in you all the time. But don't ever think it's not working. It just nature has its own slow. Same with you. It has its own pace.
Right.
that it does, because it has to do something for us individually. But you tried something this February.
Yeah, like I was telling Naomi the other day on our last walk, that my drug of choice is. I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah,
Vanessa.
yeah, I'm with you.
It's caffeine.
Yeah.
Now, caffeine for me is almost like people like candy and like
Chocolate.
and cake. I could drink coffee 6-7 cups a day, and to me, it's like a treat. It's a sweet treat, right? Because I've doctored up. So I said to myself, well, I'm not going. didn't want to do the raw thing. So I said, well, I will abstract take away the coffee. I took the coffee away, and then I said, in addition to that, I was gonna stop eating meat.
Okay.
So I didn't eat any meat, which meant
you made it.
Yeah, I made it through.
Come on, look at you.
Made it through. I told him that I could actually feel like I could be a vegetarian if I wanted to, because the thing of the matter is that I was very creative in my cooking. I've been vegetarian before years ago, but it was the worst experience. I was eating all kinds of junk.
Yes.
Here, I was making all these vegetable dishes, like lentils and garbanzo beans and kale. And so I was eating like that. I even made my own fried chicken or fried fish.
Come on, yeah.
Fried fish tofu.
Yeah, come on now. Come on now.
And I'm telling you,
that's what I like.
That was a nice little treat.
Yeah.
So I learned some stuff, and I was telling him how I enjoyed it. We went back, we were talking about maybe in April, not doing raw, but
some adjustments.
Veggie.
Yeah.
Basically just doing vegetarian, come away from meat again for a month.
It's another 30 days. What I was going to ask you is about all right, we'll pick that up. Any questions for them? You guys, any questions about trying to make that transition? Look, these are individuals, man, this making that change. Decided in the month of February, way to honor some Black history, man, because when we left the plantation, it wasn't like we had Starbucks and McDonald's out there in the woods, because them dogs would have caught us. But at any rate, so we couldn't eat. We couldn't eat. So we had to kind of go on a little fast while we're on the run. Amen, somebody. So, and I appreciate the Smiths in honor of Black History Month, changing up, making a change that way. So if you all have questions for them, just put it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and do that. We're going to show a new and a unique way. Hey, honoring Black history before we even got over here. We're going to Eritrea or Ethiopia. Gonna throw it down, but y'all can eat like this. It'll be really good. Yeah. And why'd you choose this one? That'll be a good
right.
A good
so did I hear Brother Eric and Juliet? Did y'all have a response or something to say before we move?
Yeah, I just want to say I was looking at the video. My hoodie made me look a little bit fatter. My wife used to say that, but I understand too that the camera adds 10 pounds. It's always tough. But I love doing that. Love actually doing that from the walk that we did. And I just want to say, we do this walk every Sunday from 8:30 to 10:30. And it's not restricted to members of Winter Love. Of course, we want our members to come, but if you're in the Bay Area or whatever, come walk with us. It's a great way to build your health. It's a great way to fellowship and to talk and everything. So that's all I gotta say. What do you say, baby?
And it's to start the week off too. It's good, still for the mind, and the body. And so it's just getting out there and getting fresh air, and it's early in the morning. So like we went out early, but 8:30 is still early, right? But it's just, sometimes I'm kind of kicking and screaming. When I get out there though, it's just, I'm so glad I did it. So that's all we want to say.
Oh, good.
We all come out kicking and screaming.
Yeah, that's not just
we can relate. We can relate.
So we are the demo that we're gonna show you today. We are taking you back to Africa, the motherland. And I have to tell you that if you've ever eaten Ethiopian food, I don't know. I can't it might be an acquired taste. I just know that the first time I ate Ethiopian food, I was like, I am in this. I love Ethiopian
But
food.
you're gonna use some stuff that grow over here today for the demonstration.
Yeah,
I don't want them to
this
think
is
you got to. It ain't. You know.
It
good.
ain't what?
It ain't uniquely grown over there. There's some things you
Oh.
added here to be able to.
Yes, yes, okay. And it's not, and look, because I know this is going out everywhere and they're gonna be
Right.
like probably about 30% of my students are either from Ethiopia or Eritrea. So they'd be the first one to be like, Miss Pascal, this is not 100% Ethiopian. So it's not 100% Ethiopian or traditional Ethiopian.
But we giving honor.
But we are given honor, and it is Ethiopian based. So maybe like Ethiopian American fusion type deal. So I'll say that much. But first of all, I do want to start out with man, and I didn't bring the package, the injera. But so for those of you that have heard of their flatbread, it's called injera, and it is 100% teff flour. And that is SABI approved in terms of grains that are approved. It's gluten-free. So for those that have gluten intolerances, it's good. It's like if you like sourdough bread, then if you like sourdough bread, then you would like injera, because it's, I guess in a way you could say this is Ethiopia's sourdough bread. So it's really good. So they use this to put little, you know, and I'm only talking to those that are not familiar with Ethiopian food, but it's usually a much larger plate than this. And, you know, and it's covered with the flatbread. And then they'll put little mounds of different types of food. And then, you know, they'll serve you a bowl of more rolled up teff or injera. And then, as you can imagine, you don't use utensils. You're gonna, you know, you take the injera and you know, go around and you choose the stuff that you want on the plate. And it's usually communal. So it's, you know, like you would share this in a family. You know, it's one huge plate with the injera and with the different things on there. Now, to make injera, I did not make that injera because that is a very involved process. If any of you have ever tried to make sourdough bread and you have to do the sourdough starter, and it's pretty much the same way. So like it takes like 6 days to do the sour. I ain't got time for all that, right? But I do, but praise the Lord for Berkeley Bowl here in the Bay Area. One day we were walking through there, and in their kind of like deli or cook section, they sell the teff. I'm sorry, I keep calling it teff. That's the grain it's made out of, but they sell the injera. And this, again, it's 100% teff. There is some injera where they do half and half. They'll mix it with teff flour and also wheat flour. I can't eat those because I am gluten intolerant. This is 100% injera. So, I mean, teff. So I was so excited because I was like, oh, I can eat this at home and I don't have to make it. So if you're in the Bay Area and happen to go to Berkeley Bowl, check it out. It's really good stuff. So that's what I used. Also, some of the things that I'm going to be showing you in terms of what we're going to be making. So let me see if I can make this transition for you guys so that you can, no, I'll start it off this way. Okay. So usually, one of the things that you can make is the greens, right? And so Eric and Juliet in their video talked about prepping, you know, in order for them to do the diet or whatever change that they decided to do. And so also in prepping, if you go ahead and you can prep your food ahead of time, that also makes it more accessible. And so one of the things that I'm going to make is like what would be considered Ethiopian greens. So, you know, when we eat greens, we understand that comes from the motherland, because in Ethiopia, they do eat greens. And so what I have here is a cup of the purple kale. And then the greener part here, or the lighter greener part here, is dandelion leaves. Okay, and that's about half a cup of the dandelion leaves. And then what I did is I went ahead and in there, you see all these spices. There's red bell pepper in there, and then there's also what else do I got in here? Oh, onions. I have onions in here. And so I use the seasoning mix, which I don't have with me right now. But it is, if you are familiar with Bragg's, the seasoning, not the Bragg's sauce, but the seasoning. Yes. So Bragg's does a seasoning. So kind of like seasonal, or I don't know what you might use for multi-seasoning. But it's organic. It's got all the herbs and spices. Most of the herbs, if not all of the herbs, are SABI approved for those who are trying to do the SABI approved stuff. But just really quickly, I'll read to you what it has. It has rosemary, minced onion, minced garlic, thyme, red bell pepper, carrot, tomato, black pepper, extra virgin olive oil, parsley, tarragon, lemon, orange peel, apple cider vinegar, celery seed, dill seed, oregano, savory sage, ground ginger, coriander, bay leaf, and turmeric. All organic ingredients. So this is our no salt. Okay, so this is, especially if you're dealing with high blood pressure, this is very, very, very important. So I'm glad you came, because now I can transition into the cooking part. And so let's see here, as we transition, I can, there we go. And okay, there we go. Oops.
Hold on.
Okay. All right, so here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to saute the greens really, like, it's not even going to take a long time. So this is grapeseed oil, and put it that way. So this is grapeseed oil, and we've talked about in the past how grapeseed oil is really good to cook with because it has a high heat tolerant. In other words, the oil won't denature. And so what I do is, I told you guys, I just went ahead and prepped this stuff. So all I'm gonna do is just gonna go ahead and put it in there. I think I'm gonna have to come over this way. All right. And I'm just gonna go ahead and saute all and put that in there and mix it up. It already has the salt in there, like I showed you guys, the seasonings. And so I'm gonna let that cook for a little bit. And so we're gonna go ahead and go into the next part. So for the next thing, I'm going to make a sauce. And so this has 2 Roma tomatoes. It has some olives, black olives. It has onions and apple cider vinegar. I was trying to remember what all I had put in there. And so all I'm gonna do is put it in here, and I'm gonna mute so you guys don't have to hear it.
Okay.
All right, so if you saw, I went ahead and put the greens on the injera. You saw that I did not cook the greens for very long. You want to make sure that when you cook your greens, they're still green, and that they don't turn brown. Because when they turn brown, you've pretty much cooked all the nutrients out of them. At that point, the water stock is more nutritious than the actual greens. So you really don't have to, cook them for that long. All right, and so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to make, and these all have an Ethiopian name, but I don't know the Ethiopian name. But this next one that we're going to do is going to be a mixture of chickpeas. We're going to saute some onions and garlic. And these are some cut up cremini mushrooms. So I'm going to use my same skillet. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in there the onions with the garlic. right? And we're gonna put those in there to saute them for a little bit. All right, now at this time, I'm gonna go ahead and add the chickpeas. Okay. And then what I'm gonna add to this is a little bit, for some of you, you're not used to this kind of stuff, but this is a coconut milk. So I'm adding a little bit of coconut milk to this. Okay. Give it a more creamy flavor. All right. So this actually smells really good. When we're able to do this at church and people are able to come, you guys will actually get to taste some of this, which will be great. All right, so now I'm going to add the cremini mushrooms. Okay. And you know, mushrooms don't take a long time. And then the last thing that I'm going to add to this is the sauce that I made. Okay. All right, and we're going to let that sit for a little bit. And I'm going to bring out the other part. All right, and so the other part is of course the hummus. And so this hummus, we have the recipe for this hummus on our website. And so I'm just going to put some here in the middle. All right, and at this time you can, you know, if you would like to, you can drizzle some olive oil over it. I said drizzle, but that has a little more than a drizzle. And then I'm going to go ahead and add this other portion to it. Go ahead and put it on this side. And I'm going to put some more on the other side. All right. And there you have it. And then basically what you would do,
demonstrate.
Yeah, you would take some of the injera, and then you decide which part you want to, you know, mix it with. So I like to use a little bit of everything. So just take some of the chickpeas, some of the injera, some of the hummus, and some of the greens. Put it all together, and it's good stuff. All right. Any questions while I'm still munching?
Is it possible we can see what the plate looks like? Because it's kind of low. Okay, there we go. Yeah,
Hold on.
it looks good.
So what she did was put the injera part on the plate and then the food on top of that. And then you take some more that she rolled open this up. Let me make sure, yeah, open this up and then grab the food with, you know, it's how we ate before we had utensils. Amen, somebody. That's you know. I was starting to say that's a man's way of eating, but you know, everybody ate like that. Back in the village, back in the town, you can go right now to some of the Ethiopian places that may be opening up in the Bay Area. We certainly went to one, a couple of them in Los Angeles. We went to one in, was that Sacramento? When our singing group came, sang years ago, up in Sacramento. And we went out as a group after our concert and went to an Ethiopian and ate this way. Just used the injector to pick it up and eat. And it was a much larger platter than what we have here. So I was not able to partake.
There you go. I don't know if you can see
That's
that.
much better. So I was not able to partake because I was still going to my little zone. Right, anybody else with questions? Put it in the chat. Now look, that's a fun meal. I'm telling you, that's a fun meal. You can eat well just by that simple way of eating, but you're getting all the good nutrients. You're getting the hummus, which is the chickpeas. You're getting the olive oil, which is there to help open up and fight cholesterol. That is the good oil. You're getting your kale or your greens of your choice. It's going to give you the chlorophyll and the minerals and greens in the greens. And the mushrooms are also good for your taste. Onions are always a blood cleansing plant. You want your blood to be purified and cleansed, eat onions.
Eat onions. And garlic is the same as
And
well.
garlic. And garlic will also chase parasites away. I've said this one earlier, over in Africa, when they wear the garlic around the neck, they say to ward off spirits. But you know, the spirits that were making them feel funny was the little crawly things up in their bodies. They were parasites for it. But when they wore the garlic, they said, man, we didn't get agitated, we didn't get bothered.
Yeah.
Well, because parasites don't like that stuff. So they wiggle their way on out of that. So that's great. Do you want to play more of Eric and Juliet, and then I'll get on the little.
So we're gonna share with you guys the rest of what now what we showed you guys. You know, sometimes people talk about, okay, well, you know, how do I transition into trying to incorporate some healthy tips or some healthy things? And so we're gonna listen to the second part of Juliet and Eric's testimony, in which they're going to be addressing what were some steps that they made and what they've learned from what they've done.
All right, see, technology. Long after we ate so well in about the countryside, we're still trying to. All right, well, I think we back up. That's my little commercial for right now. Let's see what they have to say. You know where the break was? All right. All right.
Nope, because it started at the beginning.
Oh, I got it. Brings you back to that.
I think it's, you know, to me, it's the drinking coffee to be
Since you can
literally.
remember.
I'm gonna tell you, I've been drinking coffee since about 8.
There you go.
sweet.
That makes sense. I was hooked on coffee for a while, and I love the smell of coffee.
Yeah,
It was
I love
something
it.
about that smell that triggers, like you said, maybe the experience with your grandmother. But it's interesting. It's an addiction when either you can smell it or you taste it, and you're like,
And
oh
you
yeah,
just get a smile. I get excited when I smell coffee.
Right.
But I have found a substitute that I do every now and then. It's called Ticino.
okay.
Ticino. And it's really, I would have to I'm going to have to have you guys try it. It has that little bite like coffee. It still doesn't taste like coffee. But sometimes every now and then, if I have a taste for it, I have now, instead of doing coffee every day, I have gone to 3 days a week. Okay. Now I'm down to 2 days a week. But when I do have a taste, when I have that craving too deeply, I'll do the Ticino. So I'm trying to do alternatives.
So what did you think about when Starbucks came out? Is that heaven or just too much
Starbucks
variety?
is a little bit too strong.
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
I'm a Folgers girl.
Yeah. What did the commercial say? Folgers in your cup or something like
Folgers in my
that.
cup. I've been with Folgers all my childhood. So that's the kind of coffee I like. But anyway,
I went to a cafe in Redlands, and they had this. It was really black tea, but it was a chai mixture.
Oh, I love that.
And man, I got hooked on that thing. I couldn't sleep till next Tuesday or something. I don't know what it was doing for me. That's why I asked you, what is that? Because you could stay. Caffeine worked the opposite for your mother.
Yes,
what
it was a sedative for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
It's like that for me too, Pastor. It keeps me up. If I drink it after 2, I'm up.
Yeah.
I'm going to be up till like 12, 1.
And I do find that before athletic events, a lot of people will drink coffee. Marathons, people will drink coffee. Yeah. Sometimes they'll take it even on the run because that's that instant boost of energy. Right. You can go another couple, 2, 3 more miles like that. Even they have caffeinated goo now, which is in a package. You get it, you squeeze it out, and it's caffeinated. Wow. Your energy comes in, boom. There are all these little tricks along the marathon that keep you going. But we can tell that your endurance
on these
walking
walks,
is like amazing. Y'all don't even like gasp for oxygen too much. You might think you are, but you guys were going uphill and still talking. Right. That's one of the signs.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was trying, and I let Juliet set the pace on the walk. And I was like, are we gonna walk? Are we gonna walk this fast? I was like, okay.
She sets a fast pace.
I thought I was following you.
It's that Oakland move. You can't hang around.
Yes.
You got to get going. Okay, so for you all, because I know you see us where we're at, but what would you recommend to others trying to make a change or need to make a change? What baby steps would you recommend for people to?
Okay, I think you need to prep. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah,
you don't just have to jump into deep end of the pool. Just like you can kind of stick your toe in. What I mean by prep is just start eliminating certain things or start a gradual. Okay, I'm not going to eat this every day. I'm going to eat this on the weekends, or I'm going to eat this 3 times a day, and just kind of wean yourself off. Focus, just focus in your mind. You're going to do that. I think half the battle is when that crave hits. Just see if you can hold off, because the crave's not going to last but only a certain time. Once you get over that mental craving or the body craving, then you're able to go on out without the day.
That's a big one. I like that.
As a married couple, I used to I was like King Carnival, red meat, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm like caveman. But now since I'm married and my wife is the primary cook, because she doesn't eat red meat. I don't eat red meat. And so for the last 10 years, going 11 years of marriage, I very rarely eat red meat unless we go out. I mean, even then, I still will deal with chicken. So I believe that's helped me a lot.
Yeah,
too.
good. That's a good transition.
Well, for me, I've been like, there's certain things that I've like, there has to be cold turkey. When I smoked, cold turkey.
Gotcha.
When I drunk, cold turkey.
Okay.
But when you have something like caffeine, coffee that's been with me since I was 8 years old, it's kind of hard to and it's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like that. I'm like, I'm not doing anything wrong, but if I'm doing it every day, 7 days a week, I'm doing something wrong. I'm messing my mind. But if I can get it right, I can enjoy it for a day or every other day or one day or 2 days out the week, that's fine. So for me, that's how I was able to pull myself away from coffee to the point where it was so addicting, you know, to where when I did make this transition for that month, it really didn't, usually I would have headaches. No, I didn't have any of that because I already was at 3 days a week. So I feel like a person is trying to stop something or trying to make different changes, you know, like you said, it's good to prep. Also just wean yourself off of certain things, even with the exercise. I start off with 3 days a week, 10 minutes. Now I do 5 days a week, 20 to 30 minutes. So it's like, you know, you can put these things in slowly at your own pace. Don't, you know, get down on yourself if you make a mistake. Just get back up on the horse and keep going. Because one guy told me he used to be an alcoholic, and he was saying that when he failed, he used to go back and say, oh, I'm going to go back and just drink. You know, I messed up. He said, but somebody told him, no, if you mess up, you know, acknowledge you messed up, but at that moment, you start all over. So when I took that, I adapted that philosophy. I'm starting all over right now. I messed up yesterday, or I messed up 5 minutes ago, but I'm starting over right now, and that helps.
All right, so we really loved that whole part about how to transition. And speaking of transitioning, we're trying to transition into the second demo. And so we hope that this transition is a lot better than our first transition.
Yeah, we're rusty, but we're getting back together.
So we are gonna go ahead and you're gonna tell us what you are.
Okay, so I'm just gonna tell you that first of all, when we started off this year, we generally, my wife and I, try to do kind of like what Eric and Juliet do, but are testifying today. They selected these 28 days of Black history, but we usually start off our year 21-day fast, or as long as we can go 14, whatever, is to start the new year off with an excellent kind of fast. This year, I was impressed to go on because I was looking for certain levels, certain issues of clogginess that's in my head, mucus that was up in my brain, and trying to get that out. So I went a little longer this time. In fact, not only did I go longer, I went, okay, so I went I made it to the 21 days and then made it to the 30 days of January without fasting, just really doing a lot of liquids, putting my nutrients in a blender, getting it more to juice form and drinking that way. So I got to the end of January, and then my good member, Eric, was starting his. I said, well, I'll go halfway with you into the month of February, but I still was not eating, I just kept it liquid. So I made it there, and then when it got to the 21st day of February, I finally ended my particular fast. So I went 52 days. Don't try that at home, but you know, I was around my wife and all that, but just taking in liquid nutrients in that way. Now, as you can see, I was getting smaller. I ran into Jorge the other day. He said, Pastor, you're really skinny in the face. Yeah, that's what fasting will do. I lost a lot of inches around my waist, so my belt buckle, I don't know, thank God we were just still in COVID on that, but my belt buckle was like on the fourth hole as I was moving. So now that I'm getting back into senior softball, COVID's trying to open up. So they're really trying to decide how we get back out there and play. I don't really have my strength to really play, hit, and run like I'm used to doing. So I have to do something. This is what I want to show you. So what I'm showing you is what I use to rebuild my muscle tissues to get back to my playing weight, which is going to be between 160, 167, or 8 when I can really hit the ball. As far as speed, I like to stay closer to 160. So I kind of go with that, but these are my protein, speed me up, get to my weight. I take this after all my runs. Like I said, I ran 2 miles the other day. We walked again today. We walked another day in between. So my muscles can get sore, you can get fatigued. So the day I took my multivitamins before we came on here, but today I'm going to show you all that I do with just straight a lot of protein, but healthy protein. So what I like to do is today, since Yamada bought this right, natural, awesome coconut milk, I'm gonna pour that in there and try to get that to be thick, just like that. So that's the rest of the coconut. That's all I need. That's probably a lot, but she said this was the creamy version. So we thank God for the creamy version. I know it's not gonna look right, but then I got me two. I had the picture of them earlier, brown skin baby bananas. Forgot red skin is what we call them. They're red bananas. So we got this one at Whole Foods. They happen to have them. And so I was able to get that in there. All right. Now, what do I add to this? For those of you still trying to convert off the weed, this is the plant before it gets to that. It's called hemp. They bring it down before they roll it up and smoke it and change all the chemistry of it. This plant is good. It actually helps to open up clogged arteries, et cetera, that. So I put that little hemp in there. Hallelujah. Those of you who are trying to make a transition, don't lose your soul. Hallelujah, Jesus. All right. And this is the cacao, straight from the plant. That better be the cacao. It's the cacao. So this is straight chocolate, as I heard Juliet say. Some of us are just hooked on this, but this is straight before they do anything to it, the powder of chocolate. So that's about two tablespoons of that. Then I have the maca. This is another 1.5 tablespoons. This is maca from the root. Peruvians, I want to say indigenous people, but there's another one in South Incas. They use this maca root to gain virility and power and strength. So all of you on the phone, men, if you're trying to do something, this will give you power and strength. As Frank Thomas says, sometimes it'll make her happy too, but he's speaking about something else. But all right, so then that's the maca, and this is where my fiber comes in. This is flaxseed grounded up. Flaxseed acts as a fiber. You can get a lot of vitamin E in there, which is what your muscles need to be to move smoothly, to be able to go with some fluid and help with that soreness that you may get. But you're going to push through and go to the bathroom with flaxseed. Just remember, some of y'all know about that flaxseed. All right, so now I help with that. That's the supplemental part. Now I'm going to add what we call walnuts and Brazil nuts. All right, this will give it that kind of malty flavor that I want. So this is about a cup, but don't put too many Brazil nuts in it because that's a big nut. So you can count those. Usually get you 5 to 7 of those and put them in there. Walnuts, you can use it to your taste. All right. So now that's how it builds right there. This is the sweetener. These are 4 days. I'm praying that the seed is out of that because I wasn't sure about one. 1, 2, 3, 4. And by the way, dates are very good for providing your natural energy for that. All right. So now I have that. And now here comes my favorite. My favorite is almond butter. And we had to go to Berkeley Bowl today to get this because I'd run out. So I take about 2. This is for me now. I take 2 tablespoons of this. You can adjust it to what you want because I'm gonna make 2 jars of this, and that's my protein, natural from the and no salt added. That is natural. They just took the almond, ground it up, made a paste out of it. That's what we get right there. All right. Now, for those of you who want to know how I do it so fast, I buy this particular brand. Thank you. This particular brand called Herbalife 24. Now, what this does, so you get Garden of Life. My son Anthony likes that version better. Garden of Life makes it pure organic version of this, but it's to put energy. Sometimes he just does the meal plan of that. We always suggest you try to get natural food in there. I take 2 of these. This is for rebuilding the muscle after we work it hard. All right, so if I do a good run, I play a lot of exercise on the day. Now you can see how this smoothie or shake, or this, this after I eat. Normally, if you just do the Herbalife thing by itself, it'll work. But I fill it up because I use it as a recuperating meal. My muscles are sore today, et cetera, et cetera. This is pure vanilla extract. Don't need a lot of that. It'll give you, now I'm just dealing with stuff that, for your taste. All right. Cinnamon, brothers, sisters, you got clogged arteries. This helps with blood pressure.
It also helps with lowering blood sugar.
Thank you. Helps with lowering blood sugar. My dad used to live on that. Now this is where Dr. Willie Davis not on, but this is what I love, the sweetener.
What sweetener is
this? This is agave. It says 1 tablespoon. I'm not sure if that's what I just did, but I'm gonna tell you about this sweetener. Yes, sorry about that. Raw, straight from the cactus. All right. Really good sweetener. You don't need this much. This was the other option was the honey. I'm not using honey today, but I know some people say this is jumping into food, which it is, but
animal.
I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you. Animal. I messed that up, but because the bees are technically in that category, but this is rich with a lot of energy and food. So the difference is this one has 17 carbs and this one has 16 carbs. So, man, in order to get your metabolism back up, we need a lot of calories and we need a lot of carbs. So you have to add them up for all of this. Usually the plant-based doesn't power you on that much. And then my little secret is, as Juliet said, some of us are hooked on chocolate. I just sprinkle that for a little love for myself. That's what I do for me. Amen, somebody. I just do that for me. Y'all don't have to do that. Stick to the regimen. All right. And then I put the ice in. All right. And then I used the water. The goal is to fill the water up to the height of the ice or the height of your ingredients in there. I think I got everything in this. Now you can see this is really, really loaded. So I'm going to fill up 2 jars. That's what I do for myself. One that I'll take tonight and one I save because I have softball practice in the morning. All right. So that's it. That's what I do. Coconut milk, water. I use almond butter. You don't have to do that. Nuts, they'll still suffice, but I'm loading it up because I'm trying to recuperate from my 52 days of fasting and get my muscles back up. All right. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I ran really good the other day. As Yamarda saw the route that I shared with her when I ran my 2 miles up hills, down hills, and I'm going to turn this on now. All right, I'm gonna show you the consistency of it. That's why I say it stays, that's how I want it. Not quite like a smoothie. I like it just like that. And then I will fill up these 2 jars. It's just I haven't finished mixing it the way I want. So you can raise your questions. That's what I do to begin to build my recuperation time back up. And believe me, it works for me. I love what it does, and that's it. Any questions for what you wanted?
You guys want to put the recipe out?
Yes, I will.
Because that's a lot of ingredients, but it looks
That's
good.
a lot of ingredients. But you choose. I mean, there's some days I only use the walnuts. Some days I only put in like 5 Brazil nuts. But the nuts have their way of breaking down and giving your own protein naturally. So that's why the flaxseed is in there to break them down so that my fiber help push it through. So it is a lot of ingredients, but I'll give you the simple, we'll put it in we'll write it down The Herbalife canister is a lot, but like I said, if you go into Whole Foods, Garden of Life products, your mother can probably tell you more about that because she was more of a, she started on the Garden of Life products and it benefited her a lot. My son Anthony uses it for his early morning meal. So it's just like that. The canister is just a little different. Garden of Life tries to keep everything as organic and straight from the plant as much as possible. So that's why it works for my son. I just was already hooked on the Herbalife and what it did for me, for my athletic part. I don't drink this every day, but I drink it whenever I do a lot of exercise and need to recoup my muscle recovery. So we got injera tonight. First time I'm going to eat this because I'm now off of my fast. It smells good. And I have this protein rebuild of my muscles and get back to it. And so, yeah, I'm doing well. So God has blessed me. I'm just telling you how I roll. I still, she can testify, I still walked and I still went to my softball practice all during the 52 days that I fasted. So God can give you the strength. Your body can recuperate and heal itself. Like I said, I wouldn't try it at home if you haven't done it. Stick to your 1 or 2, 3, 4 days of fasting, pray, get back on your meal plan. But for me, it chased out a lot of things once again. And I haven't done that since I was served as a vice president of the conference in Southeastern California Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. That's the last time I fasted that long. I did some long fasts with my church, the church I pastored in San Bernardino. So I was leading and going and seeing God do some great things. And right now, our church is on a great campaign, doing a great job serving the community. So I was in deep prayer over the direction of our church. So it worked for me. Yes, go ahead. Question.
Yeah, no question. Just wanted to say, Pastor, I know you did the long fast because you were supporting me, and just wanted to say, just give my appreciation.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. That's what community is about, man. We come together. What the Bible says, the Holy Spirit's the paraclete, the word is coming alongside. So we come alongside, help one another, the village approach,
Amen.
Yeah.
Listen, I can't say about anybody else's church, but my pastor, saying, to me, you're inspiration. For you to come off your fast, to extend your fast and to support me is to me is an example of leadership.
Amen.
You don't just do the talk, you do the walk.
Gotta walk.
You don't show the way, but you go the way, and I'm appreciative. Even in this health thing, the example that you lead, the example that Yomi leads. Even though sometimes we may buck on that.
Yeah,
but we understand, and talking about, the better we can be, the better that our bodies can be, the better we can do the ministry, the better we can do the proclamation of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And it's really a foreshadow of the glorified bodies that we'll have.
Hey, I appreciate that. It is about God because eating naturally doesn't like automatically put you in heaven. Hitler was a vegan because he was doing biological warfare testing on people. He didn't want to eat his own tests, so he went vegan to protect his own self. And then a lot of Satanists get into this. A lot of New Age people get into eating healthy because they're trying to get that mind. You mentioned it in your testimony earlier, that clarity. That's what they do it for, a bad purpose. But when we do it for God, he actually takes us to another level. So I appreciate that. We're going to play the rest of your.
Yes, so we're gonna play the rest. I think there's only 2 minutes left of Juliet and Eric's testimony, and we just want to encourage everyone, as we usually do, that this is a village, and so we are here to help each other and to support each other. So when we're like, hey, do you have any questions or anything like that? It's because, you know, we are here to support each other in any way possible. Eric just spoke about how you extended your fast in that, you know, and you're right, Deacon, not everyone might be able to do that, but there might be other ways in which, you know, people in which the community can support each other along the journey of health. So we're going to show this. I'm going to stop talking. We're going to show this, the rest of this real quick.
I have to be in the background.
First of all.
All right, we're glad to have Eric and Juliet
Right now,
good.
and that helps.
I know you ought to be prayer warriors, so this is for the people looking for a little more spiritual help. Now, what I was going to say is that Weimar has this new start, and the acronyms mean something. New means nutrition, E, exercise. The last one, the last T, is trust in divine power. I know that you all are prayer warriors, but share with the people, even with trying to change what you do for your health, how much is God?
I think God is an integral part, and what my wife just said is very important. Not to beat yourself up. The grace that allows us to strengthen and to build in our walk with God, our relationship with God. When we know that God's grace covers us, as sins abound, so a grace aboundeth more. It's the same way in what everything that you do, health wise. Don't beat yourself up. Allow the grace to pick you back up if you fall from your goals and to propel you through. And you know, just like we have conversations with God, which is prayer. When you get up in the morning, just ask God for strength, you know, to do this, because, you know, our body is the temple. Okay. And as we take care of God's church, we take care of God's church, and God, who wants the very best for us, you know, that we should prosper. The same God who says that I come that you have life and have life more abundantly will give you the strength, exceedingly abundantly over all that you can think or imagine. And sometimes the transformation, like Pastor says, isn't instantaneous. But even in our work of God, we may not see, but people can see.
And if I just would add to that is, you know, I'm always in conversation with God. Is there, you know, and people feel like you gotta, you know, get on your knees and pray, and you know, you have those moments, yes, where you have that personal time. And in the preparation part, it's before you get into this process, I was praying also before I stepped into that month. So I'm like, Lord, I need your help. I need your strength. You know what caffeine can do to me. I need that not to happen. I don't need to have the headache. I gotta work. And you know, when I walked into that, it helped. I didn't have those things. But even when I was found myself falling short, I fell short a couple of times. But I talked to God about it. You know, I was like, Lord, and when I was having those deep struggles, He's the one that put it on my mind. Oh, you know what? You want that fried chicken? Or you want that fish? You got some tofu at home? I walked by this little fish fry seasoning. Get that fish fry seasoning. Let's see if this will work. And He gave me a recipe, and it was actually good. So I think staying in communion with God, you know, He will give you He'll make a way of escape when you're in that diverse, those temptations. So when you find yourself in the temptation, you talk to Him, like He made a way of escape for me in that moment of weakness. He'll do the same thing for you.
I would just like to add too, collectively, when you see somebody going through that, you know, encourage them. My wife, she encourages me. When you see somebody, when I would bring my salad to church, you know, my sister, other people, hey, you know, great job. I'm glad to see you doing that. You're so disciplined. You know, so, you know, collectively as the body, we can encourage when we see somebody, if they're doing good, and even when they're struggling, you know, we can always encourage them. That plays a big part also.
Amen. That's Eric. That's Juliet.
Yes.
Smith. Awesome. We appreciate it. They're going to really inspire people with this.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So the rescue mission was on as they were finishing up that awesome testimony. For those of you who might be joining us, we were up in that mountain where as we hiked, we finished, we started this testimony, and we had to be we won't say we were stuck because it was God's plan, but we were kind of there until the rescue started because no cars could come in, no cars could leave. The fire people had it, fire trucks had it blocked. But bike riders, mountain bikers were up there, and one of the guys, they said, crashed, fell down, broke his ankle or foot or something. His face was pretty messed up. And so they had to, you know, the highway patrol helicopter that you heard on there was circling over as they were finishing up that testimony and actually landed probably, what we say, 100 feet from us, maybe 100 feet from where we were standing right there to be able to go and help with this rescue mission. We stayed there. I put it on film, but we got the guy came down on a stretcher. They hooked him up and took him over to the hospital. So we prayed for that gentleman, those individuals, the rescue team. We actually realized that God himself circles over us to rescue us. So we thank you for being on this.
And you know, I got to tell you, when I heard the helicopter, you know, living in LA, Compton, we hear that all the time. And every time we hear that, we're like, somebody being chased, they're looking for somebody. But and so I know when I was hearing it, I was like, well, no, we up here in the middle of nowhere. I don't know that they looking for anybody.
Getting chased by
but it's funny because that was the first. That's how conditioned. That was the first thing that came into my mind.
Hallelujah.
So look, we want to
cover everything in the chat. Maybe we got everything. If y'all had any questions, we're just gonna double check before we let you go. Okay.
Yeah. So I was gonna say is that we've kept you guys long enough. Real quickly, in terms of transition and where you are in your health, your journey is your own. And so hopefully this testimony from Eric and Juliet helps you realize that even if you have stumbled in the past, tomorrow's a new day. And this is just like, it's just, slate wiped clean. And you can go ahead and say, and also, I think for me, understanding, where everybody is. So real quickly, we had a church cleanup last Sunday. And, we didn't think anything of this. We're like, our members are busy cleaning, let's be nice and get something. Let's get something to eat for them. And we're like, we're going to get pizza. Now, look, we were probably the wrong two people to go get pizza because we've been vegetarian for so long. We're not even thinking meat. So none of the pizzas that we ordered had any meat. We had a cheese pizza, then we had a vegetable one, and I think we had a vegan one. And
people were looking for the buffalo.
Right. It is so funny because none of us thought anything. Oh, and I'm going to add to that. The snacks. Okay. So the snacks weren't like Doritos or anything like that. We had like the skinny popcorn and we had the little seaweed sheet snacks. And to add on top of that, the apple juice that we got was like organic apple juice. So it's not sweet. Look, our church members were like, oh my goodness. First of all, there's no meat in any of this meal. And then the apple juice is not even sweet. And you know what? It really taught me to realize that, just reiterating that everyone is on a different journey. And just because we might be, on one particular thing, obviously it's been so long since we even ate meat that we didn't even think like, hey, maybe we should order one of these pizzas with some meat on it, right? But everyone is on their journey, and your journey is your own, and hopefully you're encouraged to keep going.
God's good, man. We just love the journey. Yes.
Listen, I didn't, and that was the last day of my fast. So I didn't get a chance to eat the pizza until the day before because my wife saved me a couple of pieces. So I just want to say, listen, thank you, and know you're looking out for the welfare and the health of your congregants, and I appreciate you.
Yeah.
But I would say this: I think we could have dealt with the pizza, even though it wasn't meat, but that organic apple juice. That was, I was like,
was it really from an apple, man? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I'm gonna tell you when I opened it up, and I thought it was apple flavored water.
You did tell me that.
I thought it was apple flavored water, and that looks like organic juice. So the pizza, I'm just saying for my thing, I think we could deal with that organic apple juice. So hey, that's all I got to say.
We'll have that 7-Up ready the next go round, man. That's 7-Up. Hey, we appreciate everybody. Got any questions? We love you all. Remember, go at your pace. God loves you. Take your time, but understand it's okay to push yourself. If you fall down, get back up and try to go a little further. That's all we do. Just encourage, as the Bible says, encourage yourself.
That's right.
Encourage yourself in the Lord and say, hey, I'm on a good pace. It's warfare.
Yeah.
You go a couple of steps, Satan, bum, 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 you got to get back up. So, okay, you got me that time, I'm getting back on it. So that's what we want to leave that word of encouragement to you. Till next month.
Yes.
Which will be the April. We might have some open COVID, but we'll be ready.
Yes, we'll be ready. We might be at church. And for those of you that are in the area, you are welcome to come and actually taste some of this delicious food. So
yeah, we promise you'll get the right apple juice.
all right. Thank you for joining us.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Right.
Goodbye, everybody.